Bulls fire Fred Hoiberg. Losing gets NBA coaches fired. It doesn't matter how much management preaches patience. It doesn't matter how ill-equipped the roster is. Losing gets NBA coaches fired. Bulls coach Fred Hoiberg, who went 115-155 in 4 years, including 5-19 this season, learned that lesson today. The Bulls announced Monday morning that Hoiberg, who was hired in 2015, has been relieved of his duties. Associate head coach Jim Boylan will take over for Hoiberg. Decisions like this one are never easy to make, VP of Basketball Operations John Paxson said in a press release. However, I felt this was the right choice for our organization at this time. After a thorough evaluation, I elected to make this move with the overall development of our team in mind. As a team, I believe it is imperative that we make unfaltering strides in the right direction and build the right habits to help put our players in the best position to evolve not only now, but into the future. I want to thank Fred for his dedication and efforts, as well as for his enduring commitment to our team. Hoiberg, a former NBA player whom Chicago hired from Iowa State, showed little reason to believe he is a worthy NBA coach. He frequently had issues communicating with his veteran players. His offenses never took off as hoped, and though he never got ideal personnel for a ball movement system, only the very best NBA coaches get catered to that way. The rest must adjust, and Hoiberg didn't nearly well enough. Chicago ranks second to last in points per possession this season. This is a blow for Bulls general manager Gar Forman, who spearheaded hiring Hoiberg, and, to a degree, Paxson. Chicago's front office leaders ran out Tom Thibodeau, and made clear Hoiberg was their guy. Thibodeau has his problems, evident with the Timberwolves. But Hoiberg has proved to be a bad bet. How many more coaching hires will Forman and Hoiberg get? Don't confuse Boylan with Jim Boylan, who took over the Bulls when they fired Scott Skiles during the 2007-08 season, and took over the Bucks when they fired Skiles during the 2012-13 season. This is Boylan's first NBA head coaching gig, and as he learns on the job, expect an immediate jolt and the Bulls to continue toward a high draft pick. Capped a triple-double with 3 free throws in the final 7 seconds, missed a three-pointer at the buzzer and the Denver Nuggets overcame an injury to leading scorer to beat the Toronto Raptors 106-103 on Monday night. Jokic made it 104-103 with a free throw with 7.0 seconds left, then hit 2 more foul shots with 5.6 seconds remaining before Lowry bounced a 26-footer off the rim. Jokic had 23 points, 15 assists and 11 rebounds to lead the Nuggets. Scored 21 points, and Juan Hernangomez each scored 15 points for Denver. The Nuggets won their 6th straight and halted Toronto's winning streak at 8. Scored 27 points, had 15 and 14 for the Raptors. Harris scored 3 points in the opening quarter but did not play after the first because of a sore right hip. He came in averaging a team-high 17.3 points per game. Lowry returned after sitting out Saturday's loss at Cleveland because of an unspecified back injury, the first game he'd missed this season. He shot 1 for 7, missing 5 of 6 from three-point range. Toronto went 11 for 41 from outside the arc. The game pitted Leonard, the Eastern Conference Player of the Week, against Denver's, the Western Conference Award winner. The Nuggets led 86-78 to begin the fourth, but Toronto tied it at 94 on Ibaka's dunk at 4:41. Ibaka made a pair of free throws and Leonard drained a jump shot with 54 seconds left to put Toronto up 101-100, its first lead of the second half. Jokic restored Denver's lead with 40 seconds remaining before missed twice at the other end. Hernangomez was fouled grabbing the rebound on Green's second miss and made 1 of 2 from the free throw line, but Leonard answered with a jumper, tying at 103 all with 7 seconds left. The Washington Wizards have been less bad of late, not good, but they are 3-3 in their last 6 games after getting the win Monday night in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. Don't think the Wizards' effort problems have gone away. Or that effort issues have gone away. Exhibit 1, this defensive effort from Wall. The Wizards may be too talented to miss the playoffs in an East, essentially the shallow end of the pool in the back half of that conference. Just don't think that means everything is right. Fred Hoiberg was Bulls GM Gar Forman's guy, a coach with a modern pace and space offensive philosophy who Forman thought would lift the Bulls, and Joakim Noah, to contending status. That, obviously, never happened. In part because Hoiberg was never given a roster to fit his style of play. The Butler/Rose Bulls were a bunch of isolation ball stoppers not buying what Hoiberg was selling. After that came the Bulls, even more isolation ball stopping, and then a rebuild. It's fair to say Hoiberg was never given a roster where we could see what he could do with this offense. But from that first Bulls team, Where Butler essentially walked all over the timid Hoiberg, the coach never seemed to command the team or have the ability to get the players pulling the rope in the same direction. This year's team was spinning its wheels, and there was just a lack of cohesion. All of those things led to Hoiberg being let go. The happy marriage of Hoiberg and the Bulls lasted all of 25 games. Butler, in the wake of a 16-point loss to the New York Knicks, told reporters that players probably have to be coached harder by Hoiberg. At that point the Bulls were 15-10, but the season never fully recovered from there. But once the Butler drama began, and perhaps there was no way he could have stopped that, and it was clear the Bulls were going in a different direction, it marked the beginning of the end. The Bulls were on a crash course for a full-scale rebuild, and after 3+ seasons of 115-155 basketball, that same voice couldn't continue to lead that next charge. Lack of leadership, more than wins and losses, is the reason Bulls management felt a coaching change couldn't wait. I think as a head coach you have to demand excellence in your players, Bulls president of basketball operations John Paxson said Monday. They will respond to that. Hoiberg just never connected with veteran players and got buy-in from them. A lot of college coaches struggle with that. Brad Stevens in Boston is the exception, not the rule. While some individual players such as took steps forward under him, every year there was some distraction, for example, or other sign of the team lacking unity. The 5-19 start was just the final straw. Hoiberg was not a fit in Chicago. Given a roster that better fits his style, could he coach an NBA team up to being a threat come the playoffs? Maybe. We don't know. And we may never find out because some tempting college offers will come Hoiberg's way after the season. The Phoenix Suns are not a good basketball team. But when Stargard is off the court it gets positively ugly. The Suns are outscored by an additional 11.3 points per 100 possessions when he is out. And he's going to be out a little while now after re-aggravating his hamstring on this play. Devin Booker was forced to leave the game in the second quarter after suffering a hamstring injury. LeBron and Tyson Chandler went to check on the young star right after it happened. NBA on ESPN, Adispnba, "I'm going to make sure it's right," he said after Monday's practice. "Make sure it's fully ready to go. I don't think I've played a healthy game this season. So just making sure my body gets right before I get back out there, because if I can't give 100% out there I'm letting my team down in that way, so making sure it's right before I get back out there." Last time Booker missed 3 games with his bothersome hamstring. This time, expect him to miss a couple of weeks. Booker is averaging 23.5 points and 6.7 assists per game this season, but has not been his same shooting self through a series of injuries. 31.3% from 3, a 54.7 true shooting percentage that is about the league average, although he has never been as efficient as his backers would want you to believe. Even so, the Suns' spacing and defense are going to struggle without him.